There are an estimated 100 million Kalashnikov-style rifles currently in global circulation. You can find them on every continent, in the hands of standing armies, local militias, and global superpowers. Almost everyone refers to these weapons universally as the AK-47. But if you actually go looking for a true original 1947 production model, you will struggle to find one. They are exceptionally rare. The most widely produced firearm in human history began its life as a manufacturing disaster that nearly killed the entire project in its infancy. The platform's global success is the result of iterative engineering, 70 years of mechanical failures and subsequent fixes that forced the original design to adapt. The initial motivation came from Mikhail Kalashnikov, a Soviet tank commander severely wounded in 1941. Recovering in a hospital, he realized infantry needed a rugged, automatic weapon for close-quarters combat. His conceptual benchmark was the STG-44. The STG-44 was a late-war German assault rifle that paired fully automatic fire with cheap, simple manufacturing techniques. Kalashnikov wanted his 1948 production model, the Type 1, to be built the same way. The goal was to construct the receiver, the main body of the gun, out of cheap, lightweight stamped sheet metal. But late 1940s Soviet metalworking was not ready for this. The stamping technology was primitive. Rejection rates skyrocketed as the thin metal warped, bent out of shape, and the welds holding the guns together simply snapped. To salvage the project, the Soviet military completely abandoned the stamped metal concept. For their next iterations, the Type 2 and Type 3, they pivoted to milling. Milling is a machining process where the receiver is slowly and expensively carved out of a solid 3-pound block of steel. For the first decade of its existence, the AK failed its primary mission. Instead of a cheap, easily mass-produced weapon for the entire army, the Soviets were left with a heavy, expensive stopgap. 10 years later, Soviet industry finally caught up to Kalashnikov's original vision. In 1959, they introduced the AKM, an updated model that successfully utilized a stamped metal receiver. This diagram shows the material removed when a thin, riveted sheet metal shell replaced the solid milled block, shedding 2 pounds. They also added a slanted muzzle brake, which redirects escaping gas upward to push the barrel down and keep the shooter on target. It is this specific rifle, the 1959 AKM, that actually conquered the global arms market, not the original 1947 prototype. In the jungles of Vietnam, Soviets observed American troops effectively wielding the M16. This standard-issue U.S. military rifle fired a very light, high-velocity bullet. The Soviets realized their heavy 7.62mm rounds were limiting their own troops. A smaller, faster bullet travels on a flatter trajectory, making it easier to aim from afar. So they shrank the ammunition. The resulting AK-74 fired a new 5.45mm cartridge, drastically cutting the weapon's recoil. This allowed an individual soldier to carry dozens of extra rounds without taking on additional weight. The core gas-operated action of the rifle remained entirely intact while the caliber shrank. The platform proved it could easily adapt its internal geometry to accommodate entirely different ballistic philosophies. Because the USSR freely distributed its manufacturing blueprints to allied nations without demanding licensing fees, the weapon effectively became an open-source engineering project. This map shows how local engineers mutated the design to fit their needs. China built the Type 56 with a folding bayonet. Hungary created the compact AMD-65. Israel blended the Kalashnikov action with Western components for the Galil. The rifle survived because it absorbed these local modifications. It morphed from a Soviet military asset into a localized tool, built to function in the specific dirt, sand, and mud of its host country. In the 1990s, Russian engineers developed the AK-100 series. To streamline global exports, they standardized the manufacturing parts and offered the rifle in calibers used by NATO. NATO is the Western military alliance, and using their ammunition types allowed Russia to sell to a much wider international market. Mikhail Kalashnikov himself transitioned from an individual inventor tinkering with stamped metal into the primary figurehead for a massive, state-sponsored military export industry. Today, that lineage culminates in the AK-12, the current standard-issue rifle for Russian infantry. The heavy wooden stocks are replaced by adjustable polymer components and Picatinny rails. Picatinny rails are standard slotted mounting brackets used to securely attach modern magnified optics. The rifle also includes a new 2-round burst fire mode, which stabilizes the second shot to increase lethal accuracy at long range. This version represents the final realization of the 1947 goal. It is a cheap, mass-producible rifle that now serves as a modular tool capable of precision fire. The heavy, warped, failing metal of the 1948 prototype was slowly carved, stamped, riveted, and customized into the sleek, modular AK-12. The Kalashnikov platform survived for 70 years by being an incredibly adaptable machine. Its endurance stems from a design simple enough to withstand 7 decades of constant, ruthless iteration.